Hi, my name is Tanya Taylor, and I'm faculty in the Department of Medicine, the Division of Infectious Disease, and the STAR program at SUNY Downstate Health Sciences University. I'm also one of the co-directors of the BRIDGE program, which is an acronym for Brooklyn Initiative to Develop Geriatric Education. Today, it is my privilege to provide this lecture on ageism in 4 parts. And I hope that you will enjoy it. I just want to preface and say that there are lots of videos in my presentation today, because I think that the most important data in terms of trying to understand what it's like regarding ageism, the experience of ageism, representations of ageism, is to show you. And so I hope that you will enjoy this lecture and you will really think about the videos and the text that I'm sharing with you. Okay. First and foremost, I'd like to start off our conversation with this very, very powerful video that I think also illustrates the fact that ageism is not just affecting older adults, it affects everybody.
It feels like I'm not given a chance. Experience.
Baggage, only weighing people down.
Looking at my age, like it is a disease.
It is.
When people see only my age.
Age doesn't define you. This is a wonderful campaign, and actually I'm using other materials from the global campaign to combat ageism. So first, let me just say that I need to acknowledge our funders for the BRIDGE program that make doing these educational outreach opportunities possible. We are funded by HRSA and the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Our learning objectives for today, we have 4. So first, we hope that by the end of these lectures, that you will be able to define ageism and understand the different types and forms of ageism, that you will be able to discuss the interpersonal and societal impact of ageism, that you will also be able to discuss what is ageism and ageist language within the healthcare setting, and that you will also be able to discuss different models and approaches for how to address ageism in healthcare and foster an age-friendly healthcare system. So, our age-friendly healthcare initiative, which is sponsored by the John Hartford Foundation and the American Hospital Association, is predicated on the 4 M's: what matters, medication, mobility, and mentation. What matters can include things that, for example, are really bothering the patient, things that need to be addressed, whether it's a chief complaint, but what matters also includes care preferences, how you want to be treated. And this often involves the family and sort of what matters to the family. What matters also includes what gets people out of bed and motivated and excited, and what are those things that make life worth living. Medication within the 4 M's, or within taking care of older adults as we get older, also increases the risk of polypharmacy, which is defined as having 5 or more medications. Polypharmacy is very serious. It often, if not managed well, it can result in all kinds of issues. It can impact cognition. It can also result in accidents, falls, and fractures. Mentation includes 2 aspects of the mind. One is brain health or cognitive function, and the other is mental health, both of which are terribly important in terms of helping older adults as they get older. And finally, mobility. I think this is the 1M, which most patients would say is the most important. Being able to get up and get around and remain independent and autonomous is key to maintaining their quality of life. So, ageism defined. First, I would like for you to think. I want you to think about your own definition of ageism. I want you to think about, what is ageism? What kind of phenomenon is ageism? You know, are there different types of ageism? Do particular populations, are they impacted differently because of ageism? You know, where does ageism come from? So I hope you're taking some notes. Great. So this is a very powerful, I think that most of us working in aging and public health love this video. It's sponsored by AARP and their campaign called Disrupting Age.
Hey, how's it going? You can stand right there. That's her mark. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Great.
Awesome.
Just tell us your first name and your age.
My real age?
My name is Paolo. I'm 25 years old.
My name is Daniela, and I'm 19.
24, 35.
31, 33.
I'm 26 years old.
What age do you consider to be old?
Late 40s.
Maybe 50.
I feel like 30 is a new 20, so I'd say like 40 is old.
I'd probably say 50s.
I'd like you to show me how an old person would cross the street. Show me how an old person would send a text message. How might an old person do a push-up? What about jumping jacks? Okay, hang on. There's someone I want you to meet.
Hello, I'm Birch. I'm 66.
Hi, I'm Daphne, and I'm 68.
I'm Dee, and I'm 55.
George Fassbinder, 75.
Wow. My name's Parvati. I'm 70.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We're gonna give you about 2 minutes to teach each other something that you are good at.
I can teach you a jump that I do.
Okay, please.
Both of your legs go up, and your arm goes up, and your left arm goes like to the side. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Lift 1, 2, 3. And bring it to your heart. And bring it to your heart. Add the head in. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to get you balanced. And knees up. Now, you can bring your legs and your feet up. It's hard, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So when you come out of a turn, either way, you go back to that basics.
Over. Now forward. Over. Yeah.
Square it like this, and give me a hook. Hook, jab, cross, hook, and then we'll go like this, all right?
1, 2, 3.
Now, what age might you consider to be old?
Probably 80 or 90. He could just do everything that I told him to do.
An age that I would consider to be old now might be 100.
Do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I said in the 50s, I thought that would be old. But when I thought about it, like...
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
It really changed my thinking of what old is.
You've taught me something today. Clearly, there's no way she's old, you know?
Now I know from today, hey, I don't look at age.
At my age, I feel like I did when I was in my 20s.
There's so many things that I still want to do. There's so many things that I can do. As long as I'm growing and learning, then age doesn't matter.
When people start stopping, that's when they start getting old.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Daphne.
It was great meeting you.
How long have you been doing this? Is this a new skill?
40 years.
Wow.
I love this video. Let's see how to exit. It always starts again. I'm sorry. So that's a really powerful video. And one of the things that I'm really hoping to do in this lecture is to help you understand that we live in very sort of segregated societies. You know, sometimes it can be segregated in really horrific ways in terms of race, ethnicity, and economics. Another way that we are segregated is around aging, and the fact that often, especially when you are out of your parents' house, that the diversity in the people in your lives becomes more homogeneous, that you are often spending time with people who are your age mates or close in your age. There might be a couple outliers, but often that initial interaction with aging in your life is often set by the people closest to you that you've seen. And so I love the fact that, you know, there was a transition as the young people started to realize that what they thought was aging were really stereotypes and generalizations, and that older adults are young and vibrant and able to do anything. The truth is that, and this is from a survey, that among older adults 50 to 80, that there are enormous positive views on aging. Most older adults feel great about themselves. For example, 88% feel more comfortable being themselves as an older adult because they know who they are. It's honestly, I couldn't pay me to go back to my 20s. I didn't know who I was, but now I know who I am and I feel comfortable in my skin. 80% feel that they have a strong sense of purpose. You know, I loved at the end that the gentleman said that, you know, when you stop is when you start to get old. And, you know, there's lots of studies talking about retirees and thinking that I'm 65, so I should stop working. And they stop working and they don't do anything else and their health deteriorates. 67% feel more positive about aging. Being an older adult, you're like, yeah, this is good. I look good. I feel good. I have freedom to do what I want. And 65% feel that their lives are better than they thought it would be. I grew up in an intergenerational house, and my grandfather was born in 1893. He died when he was 100. And I remember in my mind, I never thought of my grandfather as being old. I think he was in his 90s before I actually acknowledged the fact that my grandfather was old. And this is because he did everything. He drove, he went shopping. In fact, in Philadelphia on 9th Street, which is an open farmer's market, someone tried to pickpocket him. And he turned around and he punched the kid and he knocked him out cold. And he was over 90. So we need to be cognizant of the fact that a lot of our aging images have to do with what we've been exposed to. This is the definition of ageism. And what is ageism? Ageism is a type of bias. It's been defined by William Butler, one of the pioneers at the National Institute of Aging, as the systemic stereotyping and discrimination against people because they are old. Ageism permeates attitudes, providers in particular, the mindset of older patients, and even the structure of our healthcare system. Like implicit bias, which I hope everyone recognizes, ageism is the instant association, often of an unfavorable attitude towards older adults. And the thing about ageism, like implicit bias, is that a lot of us are unaware that we are saying and doing things or thinking things that are ageist. Again, the confounding nature of implicit bias along with ageism is that we hold these views that we're unaware, right? But how we find out about our blind spots is that they are often expressed either indirectly, non-verbally, through avoidance, through exclusionary language or discriminatory behaviors. Ageism in society. Look, ageism is a social construct. I know that might seem weird, but it is our society that has over time created the notion of what is older or too old and what is young. There is absolutely a biological process of aging, but the meaning of being young or old in society is socially constructed. There's no inherent meaning. Instead, cultures imbue youth and age with particular meanings that are based on attitudes that are rooted deep in our society. Think about that. What are the meanings embedded in our notions of youth and being older? In the US, men with gray hair often sexy and distinguished, while women with gray hair are seen as, or not seen, are invisible, seen as basically have lost their youthful look, and so there's nothing that we can do. Not true. I just want to add here that we see images of ageism in our society all the time, and in the time leading up to the 2020 election, I was deeply disturbed by the ageist representation on Saturday Night Live. I, in fact, even wrote the station to complain about how they were depicting both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and that they were ageist and I think inappropriate. So there are different dimensions and levels of ageism. The three dimensions include cognitive, how we think, right? It often manifests in stereotypes that we hold in our mind that older adults are this way. Second dimension is emotional, how we feel. And often that manifests in prejudice, an avoidance, a dislike. And then finally, it's behavioral, how we act. And that manifests in overt ways of aspects of discrimination. So I know that everyone, when they think about aging and discrimination, they're thinking of the workplace. But I have this one video that I'd like to show you to try to get you to understand that it's not just in the workplace.
Hi. Hi. Just one question really quick. You're not over 40, are you?
No.
Perfect, great.
Age limit?
I'm not. I'm over 40.
We are not serving anybody over 40 today. We're trying to have a little bit younger vibe today. You are exactly what we're looking for. If you're under 40, I'm actually not going to take your order, sir. Thank you so much for your interest, but we're just trying something different. You're just not exactly what we're looking for.
Every day, age discrimination happens in the workplace behind closed doors. And we wanted to see what it would look like out in the open. So we hid cameras in a food truck and refused to serve anyone over 40.
Are you under 40?
No, this is for my daughter, it's not for me.
Oh, it's for your daughter.
Yeah.
As long as you don't eat them. Okay. Do you promise that you won't eat them?
I promise. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Actually, if you could just step away from the food truck since you're not under 40, and I'll bring you the beignets. I don't want people to get the wrong impression if you're standing over here.
Ridiculous.
You guys are under 40, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I can take your order. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I don't know what's happening.
This is a stupid thing that's starting to get really pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a specific problem with somebody, then
Yeah,
say that instead of
screw
just
you.
for real.
Walking away, I felt really upset. I almost started crying. I was updating my resume recently, and I sort of wanted to sound experienced without sounding too old. I was like, oh, I'm experienced, but that's almost not an asset anymore. It's like I have to sound young and relevant.
Older people just don't really fit into our culture.
That's ridiculous.
We actually don't think that this truck is a good fit for you. I'm sorry.
I was outraged. This stunt makes me want to take action to help others who might be discriminated against because of their age.
Disrupt aging. This again is another video from AARP. So I hope that that this video and others are Christmas. It does this all the time. So that video will highlight that discrimination can be anywhere, and that it can have horrific impact, and it can be hurtful. So I now want to switch and just tell you about the different levels of ageism in our society. There's ageism on the micro level in terms of the interpersonal interaction between the actress and the people coming up to get the beignets. And then sometimes on the interpersonal level or the individual level, there's also a type of ageism which is internalized in terms of believing these societal beliefs about aging and ageism. And I'll discuss that in a second. Another level is the meso level, and this is within social networks. And this is if you are on social media and you can sort of understand that there is ageism within networks. Again, think about your social networks and think about the diversity of ages within your social network. And then finally, there's the macro level. This can be through institutional policies or even cultural traditions. So now let me talk about internalized ageism. Here are some really silly quotes. I'm having a senior moment. I'm not old, I'm just mature. Health is for the young. When you are our age, you do the best you can. If we think negatively about aging, it affects how we act and how we seek help. It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you believe pain, fatigue, depressed mood, dependency on others, or decreased libido are a normal part of aging, guess what? You're less likely to seek healthcare or to engage in any preventative behaviors. So this is the definition of ageism, the different levels and the different dimensions. And I am going to stop this first part now.